Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled.
I'm Batman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman!
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
I'm Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. I am immortal.
I'm Captain Kirk.
I'm a doctor. But probably not the one you expect.
Welcome everyone to Geek This Week, and this is the Flash Savitar video. As you know, this upcoming episode, if you watch The Flash, is going to reveal the identity of Savitar, the big villain for Season 3, who's been plaguing Barry's life and who's predicted to kill Iris West, the love of Barry Allen. There's a lot of theories on who Savitar is, and it's all going to come into this Tuesday. We're all going to find out who Savitar is. However, in this video, I'm going to give 6 theories as to who I think Savitar is, starting with the least likely to the most likely. So, without further ado, let's get started. Warning, spoilers, in case you're not caught up on The Flash, you may want to get caught up first. So, with that said, let's get started. And who do I think is the least likely to be Savitar? And that would be Eddie Thawne. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why am I have Eddie Thawne as a possibility of being Savitar? Here's the reason why. At the end of Season 1, Eddie killed himself in order to eliminate Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, who was trying to kill Barry. With Eddie's death, it eliminates all of his descendants, which includes Eobard Thawne. So, at the end of the episode, a singularity was reopened and Eddie's body was pulled in. So, my theory is somehow his body got caught in the Speed Force, and like in Star Trek, there was the Pirates, and there was the evil Pirates. And and one of those evil ones could physically enter a body, and I'm believing that that's a possibility. There was an evil entity in the Speed Force that basically took possession of Eddie's body, and that's how Savitar come into being. However, it holds water because Eddie would have held a grudge against Iris, so it would be believable that he could have killed Iris. But the problem with Eddie being Savitar is Caitlin had no emotional ties to Eddie, so she would have no reason to swear complete allegiance to Savitar when Savitar revealed his identity to her in the Once and Future Flash. So that's why I have Eddie Thawne as the least likely to be Savitar. So, staying on that wave thought, my next possible suspect to be Savitar is Hunter Zolomon, aka Zoom. At the end of Season 2, Zoom was captured by the Speed Time Race from the Speed Force and was taken into Speed Force and was converted into the Black Flash. But people are theorizing that somehow he was able to escape that fate and become Savitar. which would be feasible because in season 2, Caitlin did fall in love with Zolomon as he was posing as Jay Garrett. So the possibility that it being him, she could possibly be willing to swear allegiance to him. The problem with that is once Barry had went into the future and seen Wally, who was paralyzed and was catatonic because of his confrontation with Savitar, who not only broke his spine, but then revealed his identity to Wally and it just totally unhinged Wally. Wally never knew Hunter, so that would work, but it just, I think it would be too much of a cheap cliche to do it because he was the big baddie in season 2. Making him the big baddie of season 3 is kind of redundant. So I honestly don't think that it's Hunter Zolomon. I mean, it would be. I mean, it makes logical sense, but it's just from the standpoint that it just doesn't. It would just be too cliche and too cheap shot, and it doesn't make sense for him to be it. Even though logically, some of the standpoints in the episodes make sense. He would be more than willing to kill Iris. He has intimate knowledge of Team Flash. And because of the connection that he made with Caitlin as posing as Jay Garrett, it would all make sense. And it would make perfect sense for it be Hunter Zolomon. It would unhinge Wally. But I just don't think that's the case. So that's the reason why I have Hunter Zolomon as my second least likely suspect to be Savitar. So, moving on. Let's go to who my third suspect is. And this one is a possibility. And I'll be honest with you. I don't want this person to be Savitar. I just don't want him to be. And that is the real Jay Garrett. And he would know the Flash team by now. He would know them intimately. But not enough to know all things. But nevertheless, it would be enough to unhinge Wally because Wally has seen him as a trusted ally. And there's the fact that Jay is currently trapped in the Speed Force. And it was said that one would suffer a worse fate worse than death. And when Wally was trapped in the Speed Force, he was forced to live the most heartbreaking moment of his life. So we can only imagine what Jay Garrett is seeing in the Speed Force. But, Jay went in willingly, but it's a possibility that by the time they get him out of the Speed Force, he goes mad and eventually becomes Savitar. And I really don't want to see that happening. The tidbit that makes that not work for me is the simple fact that Caitlin swore, it's like, I'll do anything, I'll do whatever you ask when Savitar revealed who he was. So to me, it's like, I don't see her doing that with Jay Garrett. So he's my third suspect. I certainly hope it's not him, but it's a possibility, but I certainly hope not. Okay. My fourth suspect as to who could be Savitar is H.G. Wells himself. Or H.R., excuse me, H.R. Wells. I think H.R., the reason why I bring him up is because he was missing at key points when dealing with Savitar. And the running theory is it's possible that he is the evil speedster from Earth 19. Every speculation is he's possibly Johnny Quick. If you're not familiar with Johnny Quick in the comics is from Earth 3 in the comics. He is the evil version of the Flash. Recently in the New 52 series, Forever Evil. That's one part of the crime syndicate. So yeah, it could work that it's HR. I mean, but it'd be a little cliche to make Tom Cavanaugh the villain again when he was the villain in season one as Edabon Thong posing as Harrison Wells. So, I mean, there's little key bits in there, and because he looks like, you know, Harrison Wells, and also HR and Caitlin were forming a form of more of a relationship. They were, you know, getting more like. Try to think of the word I want to use and can't, but they were getting close and comfortable around each other. So it is possible she would trust him because he has that charm to him. But still, I don't think it's likely. But HR is a little higher on my list than the previous suspects. So we'll have to wait and see on this. But like I said, he is my fourth choice as possible suspect being Savitar. So this my fifth suspect, and this is one that that fans have been high on possibly being Savitar, and I think it would be it's a cool concept ideal if this person was Savitar, but there's just one major flaw in that theory making him Savitar, and it just would not work for me if they made him Savitar, and that's Barry Allen from the future. Yes, he would know the team intimately well, inside and out, no doubt about that. Yes, it would totally unhinge Wally to see his mentor that he considers a brother, a friend, be Savitar, and to break his back. It would totally, it would devastate Wally to the point where he could be catatonic. So, I mean, all those elements work. The one major flaw in Barry being a future version of Barry being Savitar is, why would Barry kill Iris? It makes no sense. Barry loves Iris. She's the love of his life, his soulmate. For him, a future version of him to want to kill her does not make any sense. I mean, it just doesn't. It goes against the fiber of Barry. Now, I could buy if Iris had died and the future Barry is so bitter that he blames himself, so he figures in saving Iris he's going to kill himself. Now, I could get that, but to kill Iris, it just doesn't make sense. But I put him as as the fifth suspect on this list, the second highest, most likely to be Savitar, because fans highly speculating that he is Savitar. So, who do I think is Savitar? I think it's Ronnie Raymond, the original one half of Firestorm, also the husband of Caitlin Snow. And the reason why I say this is because because at the end of season one, the Singularities open, and we know that Firestorm merged, went up in the storm, and separated to cause an implosion to close the wormhole. The Flash saves Martin Stein, but there was no body. Ronnie Raymond's body was totally gone. There wasn't no body, so theoretically he's not dead. And what if he was caught in the Speed Force and became part of the Speed Force? And being in Speed Force, he could see the past, the future, the present, and that warped his mind. That would give him the ability to know everything about Team Flash. But it also makes sense that Caitlin would be willing to do anything and everything that Savitar says, because she was Ronnie was her soulmate. So that, in that sense, that makes perfect sense that she would do whatever Savitar wants. However, the small flaw with that is, why would Wally be so catatonic? He didn't even know Ronnie. So that's one flaw in that theory. But then again, we don't know. So leave your thoughts. Who do you think is Savitar? Leave your comments down below and such. Just a quick announcement. I originally planned on doing reviews of the Doctor Who episodes for season 10. However, due to the review was small, not getting enough views, it only had 2 views as of right now. And tomorrow is the 3rd episode of Doctor Who, Thin Ice. It doesn't make sense for me to do reviews of Doctor Who now, because it does take some time to make these videos, and with only 2 views, it's just not worth the time, unfortunately. So here's what's going to be happening. I've got several other panels from Pensacon 2017 to post that I'm working on. I think the next one that will be posted is the Gates McFadden panel from Pensacon 2017, Beverly, aka Beverly Crusher from Star Trek Next Generation. And then after that, I will probably post the Creature from Black Lagoon panel with Rico Browning. He played the underwater version of the creature. He did all the underwater scenes. So that will be the next 2 videos I'll be working on. But in the meantime, don't forget to check out the other panels from Pensacon 2017 and panels from 2016. I have the Doctor Who panel with the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, and his companion, Sophie Aldridge, aka Ace, and the Stranger Things panel. Stranger Things is a big hit on Netflix, and season 2 will be coming up in October. So anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like, and also don't forget to leave a comment. Who do you think is Savitar? And we'll see you later.